Hello everyone, this is Zooc and today I'm bringing you a new logo design video. This one is going to be a project that I made for MissHarvey, a Twitch streamer and esport personality, pro gamer, plays CSGO or something like that. I don't follow that scene or anything like that, so I have no idea who's who, but she is that, so there you go. Through some fortunate turn of events, I managed to snag this project. She needed a full identity overhaul with a bunch of graphics for the Twitch channel, YouTube channel, all the channels, social media stuff, all that, so on and so forth. Hers were severely outdated and she didn't really have a clear identity or some sort of mark to define her personally. So I procured one for her. First, I have to apologize for the lack of content for the last couple of weeks. I've been going through some bullshit in my personal life, which I'd rather not get into in a detailed manner. Let's just say I've been emotionally distraught slightly, and things are getting better, so here I am again bringing you the usual stuff. So let's go. First, I have to warn that anyone with epilepsy should probably not watch this video because it was like 12 hours of recorded video condensed into a few minutes, sped up severely, and watching it myself, I kind of get a semi-headache. I have a very peculiar style of zooming in and out every time I do a small change, and that's probably annoying for some people to watch. The thing to do in this situation is to have a second window zoomed out, which when you make any change in the big window, it applies to the second window as well. It's basically a duplicate version of the file you have. But I don't have that because I'm an idiot, so instead I just zoom in and out all the time, and when you speed it up to 3000%, yeah, it can get problematic to watch. But regardless, hopefully it won't be too bad. So I wanted to go with a mascot. I think the mascot is pretty much the best choice you can make as a streamer because people watch these content producers for their personalities, in some cases for their looks, or in other cases for those two combined. So I think having something impersonal, such as a letter or, I don't know, some text bullshit, doesn't really form that. This is getting into a bit of a psychobabble sort of bullshit thing, but it doesn't form that mental connection with them as seeing like a drawn representation of who they are. Might be bullshit, might be not be bullshit, but I think that having a mascot, which, by the way, for those who don't know, a mascot is basically just like a football team has a mascot. You have some sort of drawing of a creature or yourself to represent you. You know, if a guy was called Weasel Face, he'd probably have a weasel face as a mascot. Something like that. So from the start, I wanted to push for the mascot. She wanted to go for something minimalistic, but after a lot of deliberations and me showing her a lot of examples of stuff, we decided in the end that indeed the mascot would probably be the best way to go about it. So we did a little bit of back and forth. I showed her some versions. The first half of this video is basically the one I came up with the first time. She thought it looked a bit creepy in the facial expression, like she basically didn't want this one, even though I was kind of attached to it because I thought it looked good. With some modifications, the facial expression could have been less killer-like and more friendly. But we moved on to another idea, which was basically her from the sort of a side view, blowing smoke off her fingers, because being in the whole shooting esport thing, it kind of relates to that. And apparently it's the motion with the fingers shooting is something that is specific to her and her streams. So I built that up, streamed a part of it, which I thought got some serious views, that one. A lot of people seemed to be interested in watching that. But the way I went about the first one was I made it strictly in Illustrator, and I made all the gradients and everything, the full coloring in Illustrator. And for the second one, I thought that it would be much, much easier to achieve in Photoshop, which it was. The orientation of the head and just the way the whole picture was built didn't really feel too good to do in Illustrator. Like it didn't feel good for me. So I just increased the size to like 5,000% or something ridiculous. I think the whole thing is like 2 meters wide at 300 dpi, and just colored it in Photoshop because I thought that there would never be a situation where this logo would need to be that huge unless you're putting it on the side of a building, and even then you don't need like full print resolution. Usually these huge banners that you see at conventions and stuff, they're printed at like maybe maximum 200, sometimes 100 something DPI. It's impossible to have a file that big in 1:1 size at that resolution. Like, no, there's maybe the NASA servers could handle a load like that, but regular computers, not so much. Even this file that I was working on was painfully slow at the end to make any modifications on. Like, it just didn't work out. So there's not much to say about the actual process. Basically, I just wanted to go for something cute because MissHarvey is, I guess, a very subjective thing, but she is an attractive girl, and can't deny that. And she has the whole blonde thing going on, even though her hair is now purple. We tried a few variations of the purple logo, not purple logo, but logo with purple hair. That didn't quite work out. It looked a bit off, and it just didn't feel right. So I thought that the blonde would be the best choice, because orange and that like deep yellow is a very readable color. It's actually my favorite color to work with. I try to use it whenever I can in all my projects. Maybe I should stop doing that. That's a bit of a bad thing to do as a designer, but hey, never got me in trouble so far. Because it's just so, I think it has like the perfect contrast on a dark background. White is very painful on black. Gray is gray, as the name says. Light blue tends to look a bit too corporate and boyish. A lot of insurance companies and these kind of big corporate impersonal companies use blue and light blue in their materials. And so that leaves like pretty much the warm colors, which are orange and deep yellow. Green is also kind of a no-go because it's very much associated with eco-friendly shit. Companies that deal with recycling and just environment-related stuff for gardening or stuff like that. There's like this whole psychology behind colors. So I tend to go with orange because it's fresh, it's young, it pops out a lot. So I managed to push my way through the argument and stick with the blonde version of it. And as for the text, that's really irrelevant because I changed basically the whole layout and the color scheme towards the end. And she insisted on having some sort of purple in the logo, so I decided to make the outside circle purple, the inside a bit of a play off on that. Just to have some more contrast. And indeed the blonde hair does pop out a lot on top of that color, so I guess it worked out. I would have still preferred the orange, but hey, sometimes the client makes the call and you gotta go with it. So that's pretty much it. Like, this project, I think I've been working on it since before the holidays. So I guess it took about a month and a half to complete. It was quite difficult with her being at conventions and stuff all the time to get a reply. But in the end, we managed through communicating on phones, over Facebook Messenger, at very specific times of the day. We managed to push through it. So I'm gonna make a slideshow of all the graphics assets for Twitch and YouTube just to see like how the logo is used. It's not really the central part of it all. Like, it's just one side. There's also in the smoke, there is the minimalistic version of the MH, the initials, which will be used in situations where the actual full-blown mascot is inappropriate, which is good to have on the side. So that's pretty much going to be it for now. I have another few projects to work on, including some more pencil drawings and stuff like that. So I'm going to be starting streaming sometime this week, hopefully. Probably Wednesday or so. But, oh no, actually I'm going out to dinner on Wednesday. Sometime towards the end of this week, I'm going to stream some other stuff that I have going on. And that's going to be it. Thank you very much for watching. Welcome to all the new people that came over from Total Biscuit's tweets that were actually my tweets. Patting myself on the back, but there were a few of those. And please rate that video. Jesus Christ, rate that shit. I gotta say that. If you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.